Welcome to this Autism Ontario webinar. My name is Matthew Lay, and as always, I will be your host. We're going to be discussing the IEP overview. What is an IEP? But now let's bring in our panel.
I'm a teacher in the York Region District School Board.
I transitioned to the private sector after 31 years as a school teacher.
Let's get into the IEP and let's talk about what it is and what isn't. So for that, Anne, what is a IEP?
Well, the IEP is that famous legal document that your child will have when he is formally identified or not identified. And it is the beginning of the education plan, of the communication plan. It is the basis for everything. Just remember, in whole today, the IEP will include a description of the strengths and the needs of the student. What are the educational expectations? What can we expect little Johnny to be able to do at the end of this term? It is an outline of the special education program and services that your child will receive. So within the IEP, you will see who is involved: speech pathology, occupational therapy, it can be behavior therapy, and it'll tell you the frequency, how many times a week, and where the service takes place.
Can you talk a little bit about how that works and what the parent's role is in that process?
Absolutely. So you always have to remember the student is always at the heart of every decision and every goal that we set. So as a parent, we are often the ones, and we know our child most than anyone. And we have to remember that although they are in school, they are at home much longer. So I always try to open authentic communication with parents and families and always ask them, if I have to ask you, what 3 things matter most for you right now in your family setting? How does that work? How does that look? And then as a team, we look, how can we bring this into a school context so that there's not only work being done for curricular that also enhances the whole life and the whole progress of academics, but how is that going to help in family life on weekends, during holidays, when he's at grandma's or grandpa's? So I always make sure that when we set our learning goals, we identify what is important to the family.
My understanding is that we should be using something referred to as SMART goals. Can you give some context for how it should be used in the framework of the IEP?
SMART is basically an acronym where we have to write goals that we can actually measure. So the S is for SMART. It's specific. So which goal are we going to be working on? And then measurable. How are we going to measure the goal that we have set forth? Is it achievable? Sometimes we have these goals that are so high that we are setting up our students to fail before they even begin. And it's sad because we don't see any progress and then we get discouraged. So setting attainable goals is really important. But we need to make sure that it's realistic when we ask our child to communicate and how we invite him to do so with the tools that we're providing within our goals. And is it timely? So timely means I'm not going to set a goal in September and look at it in June. Timely means I will look at a goal, break it down and say in a week or in 2 weeks or at this time, he will be able to perform such and such at a level.
Who is responsible for drafting or writing the IEP goals?
The teacher is the one that oversees it. There are many other partners, again, that have their name on the front page of the IEP. An SLP's name is going to be on it, the EA's name on it. For myself, I always advocate any staff should have their name on it because I want them to have the knowledge and understanding of what this Bible looks like for my child. Right. In order for them to be successful at school, this is the curriculum that you need to be really aware of.
And with that, I'm going to append to that question, one that came in for our audience, is do parents have the right to reject those goals if they don't believe that they're the appropriate ones?
Juicy question. If a parent doesn't agree with the goal that the teacher has made, I go back to the slide deck. Collaboration and communication starts from the beginning. It's really important that